along that path. Walk you along that path. Walk you along that path.
I know that Michael Landon was very much sort of a nurturing, mentoring type of guy. With all these children on the set, was he kind of like a mentor? Was he a teacher?
It's funny to think of, Michael as a teacher, because he was so crazy and funny and wild. I mean, people talk about him now, it's Saint Michael. I mean, he's just become sainted. And he was this crazy person. I mean, he was divorced twice. He was married 3 times. He had a whole passel of kids. He drank and smoked. He told dirty jokes. He swore. I mean, he did all these not Pa Ingalls things. He was so not Pa Ingalls. He was a lot more fun than that. He was his regular guy, and they would have these rap parties, and at the end of the day, he'd break out the beer for the crew, and he would take us to the racetrack at the end of the year for the rap party, Yeah, I mean, he was a mentor. He taught me how to bet on horses. I mean, don't mix tequila and gin, honey. I mean, what?
A practical joke.
He was very, very funny. I mean, the things he liked to do, like I said, he had this totally wild, sort of like almost debauchery side. But then he was so good with all these children, you're kind of like, I mean, no, he didn't let us into the liquor and cigarettes. There were rules on the set. And actually,
was 80 years old.
Except on one day is just fantastic. Except for he got fired because we can't afford 2 chicken dinners on one show, and that's what you get these people. But we are glad to have them here. One is a glamorous sex symbol type, so it's only fair that she be interviewed by her male counterpart. That's right, I'll be handling that one myself. The other is a 14-year-old. Perfect. Jerry, good luck. Barbara Eden and Miss Melissa Gilbert.
I loved it when they rubbed that little bottle and you used to pop out and show your navel. You had the cutest little navel.
Jerry?
Huh?
You see, I'm a minor.
Uh-huh. Oh, my gosh. Don't tell me Bart's got another minor in trouble.
And I love Michael Landon and the whole crew.
Great.
I'm sorry, but I really must go.
Oh, yeah? Well, guess what I'm gonna do with this gun?
Like the man said, you can sit on it for all I care. I have to finish my homework. Thanks for everything, guys. Bye.
Thank you, Melissa.
Bye.
That's right.
sorry.
I can't hear you.
I'm sorry.
And you should be.
These two had a very close bond. There's a lot of really good chemistry between people on this show, and between Melissa Gilbert and Michael Landon was, I think, the most amazing. People talk about Michael Landon as having been a great father figure to so many people. In this case, it was true. Melissa Gilbert's dad, Paul Gilbert, died when she was still very young, about 12 years old, and she really did need a dad. And I've always thought that this was really a lucky set of circumstances, really good that Melissa Gilbert had Michael Landon around at that time.
For me was one of the saddest days in my life, and scary. This seems right. Yep. It's right about here.
Welcome home, half-friend.
Oh, wow.
As a surprise for Melissa, Dean brought a very special and personal piece of memorabilia back to the Big Sky Ranch.
Oh my god. Oh my gosh. Wow. This is just classic.
Yeah.
His initials in there.
Yeah. Can you put it on?
No,
See. He's here.
It's just a really weird feeling.
Yeah, he's here.
It's strange. I want to get my smell in there. Wow, that's extraordinary.
Yeah. Well, I think we should go see the town that he built.
That he built and destroyed.
Landon's co-stars Karen Grassley and Melissa Gilbert were referring to the emotions of that day, but with the news of Landon's death, their words have a haunting ring.
I guess you take advantage of what you have. You take for granted the things that you have, and like I say, you don't realize what you have until it's gone.
You know, I think it's just healthy, this mourning period, though. I mean, we're going through a true loss, and it's good to experience it. And I myself stayed up very late crying last night.
Actor Michael Landon is dead after a battle with inoperable liver and pancreatic cancer. The 54-year-old star of TV's Little House on the Prairie and Bonanza died this afternoon at his home in Malibu, California. He had been diagnosed with the disease only last April. He opted for experimental medical treatments. Landon was quoted as saying after learning of his illness, "It's not like I missed a hell of a lot. I've had a pretty good lick here." Michael Landon was 54, and we'll be back.
Books by Laura Ingalls Wilder. I was a deprived child. I was reading Edgar Allan Poe. I was sort of a lot like Wednesday on the Addams Family growing up, actually. That was like my big favorite show. And these, of course, are the scenes from last week's show. Pa got hurt in this one. Something you may notice in Little House, every time Michael Landon gets injured, it's always his arm or his ribs, and this is so he can take his shirt off. Our largest viewership was actually women in their 40s, more so than children. So for the Michael Landon fan club, we always made sure he took his shirt off at least once every 3 episodes.
And he prided himself on their many positive messages.
Michael has been working pretty hard and figures it's time for a change of attire. And certainly looks better than most in that change.
not gay, not gay.
Gilbert.
To you young people watching, for a long time it's been clear to Michael that a crusade against the horrible dragon of drug abuse is one of the highest priorities in our country. He personally felt the pain of witnessing one of his own children in a terrible struggle against chemical dependency. It was then that he threw himself wholeheartedly into a real-life role. This one as an all-out activist against this pervasive evil. That battle reaches all the way up to the White House and our First Lady, Nancy Reagan. I have seen Michael work with teenagers constantly. He warns them of the hazards of drugs. God knows he tries. And he feels that as long as his vision is alive in one teenager's heart, he hasn't failed. I love you.
I understand that Michael Landon was also involved in like prankster activities.
Oh, he was known for that. Like, wasn't he like the mate, like kind of the guy that started the whole thing of, you know, like pranking your co-stars and all kinds of things?
He was the leader. No, he was the leader. He was the prankster. Barely could keep up. I mean, sure, Melissa put a little bit of, you know, a saran wrap over a couple of toilet seats, but he was the king of the pranks. He was a maniac. He loved creating outtakes for his collection. Bunny, when I'm lying there with the blood trickling out of my nose, trying to be unconscious, and suddenly I'm like, no one's saying cut, no one is saying cut, and I'm just like, why? And then I feel this sensation, and it's Michael sticking his finger up my nose. So
I felt different playing it, very different. I felt very close to God playing it, very close.
When you say
Tremendous physical effects that happened to me. I mean, I felt like I was just filled with electricity playing that part. I really did.
I am not leaving you.
I think there are certain things inside people that they're never really aware of all the time. And where they come from, I don't know. The crew was very interesting while we were doing it. It had a tremendous emotional impact on the crew. Because in its own way, to be very honest with you, I think it frightened them a little bit. In a nice way. But they've seen me play this part for 8 years, and I am, in fact, that man to them when they watch me work. And to see that man have so much open faith that I think everybody would like to be a part of. That I think it made them wonder, what does Charles Ingalls have? I mean, what kind of a connection does he have with God? How can anyone be that sure?
Do you ever take any of this home with you? Or?
Oh, sure. Sure I do. I think probably the big turnaround in my life came years ago. My daughter had a terrible automobile accident, and when I was first notified, I was in Utah. And the doctor on the phone told me that, as far as he was concerned, there was practically no chance at all. For everyone in the car was killed but her. And I got to Tucson as quickly as I could. And most people don't really pray very hard until they really need it.
Honor and keep sickness and intelligence.
Okay. It's the same as a lot of people get very religious when they get very old.
Sick all others keep.
Whether or not it's a just in case kind of thing, I don't know. But I never prayed so hard in my life as I did there. she lived. And I made a lot of promises. That I would like to keep.
When Hollywood's favorite son, Michael Landon, died several years ago, he left behind a legacy of courage and goodwill that endures to this day for millions of the world's television viewers. He also left behind an extended family of 9 children who knew the private strengths of their father. We were lucky enough to be given a glimpse into that private world through one of Michael Landon's sons. From little Joe Cartwright on the Ponderosa Ranch in the TV series Bonanza, to Angel Jonathan Smith in the hit series Highway to Heaven 30 years later, Michael Landon knew about fighting the odds. His final challenge would take place as a real-life drama before a national TV audience when he learned he was dying of cancer in 1991.
I think every moment just gets a little more important after something like this.
Though he would finally succumb to fate, Landon did it in a style that was vividly familiar to this man, Mark Landon, the son Michael adopted when he was 12 years old.
Life is about how you handle what's thrown at you. And what he wanted everybody to do is to learn to handle what comes your way. You seize life. You take it on, and you approach it, you make the best of every situation you can.
Mark
had always had a wild, wacky sense of humor. When I was a kid and I first met him, we were like 2 cartoon characters. We both laughed a lot. A lot of that laughter.
In some ways, Michael Landon was more than human to the family he left behind. He was a Superman with powers they couldn't explain. Even at a family gathering like Christmas, he seemed to know things nobody else did.
We used to play this game like on his birthday and Christmas time, and it's like he'd put his hand over the presents that were wrapped. I'd bring a present, thousands of presents. I mean, he would get like 9, 10, 11, 12.
Not gay.
Perfect. He would guess what the presents were. I said, Dad, how do you do that? He goes, I get like vibes. He put his hand over the presents, like a few inches off. There's no cheating. And I mean, this is for real. You know, like Mike Jr. saw him do this and he kind of went, like, it was really, this makes you start thinking maybe there's some truth to this stuff. Because when it's that consistent, I mean, like 10 in a row.
Wherever Michael is today, Mark believes he is exploring.
I think he'd be flying around exploring other planets right now. Because he loved more information. Loved to read. Loved to, like, absorb scientific information. So I figure, yeah, he'd be flying between the galaxies, looking at other planets and other civilizations. So he loved it.
And Mark is not certain, but he believes he may have had a visit from Michael since the star's death.
I was in my bedroom, and my window was open, and I sort of had this vision with my eyes closed of him flying up to my window with like 3 or 4 kids. And I said, Dad, how you doing? He went, not now, I got work to do. Like he was holding orphans. And then he just flew away. And I sort of opened my eyes and went, no. But, I mean, how can I be sure I'm really seeing something like that? It's just, it's a vision that's based on his personality and the way he was.
You'll never know if Michael did come back to visit, but Mark does know that Michael believed his own father had reached him from the afterlife.
He was talking about, like, at the funeral, it's like he felt a presence, but he couldn't really be sure. But yeah, it felt like his father was there. And it's like he felt like maybe a hand did tap. Maybe he did. He couldn't nail it down. And he felt like an ambience of it's all right. I'm all right. And everything's going to be all right.
Little House on the Prairie star Alison Arngrim made headlines with a stunning revelation. According to her, fellow star Michael Landon was the opposite of his screen character and was dangerous to know. Alison Arngrim has blessed Hollywood with a lot of great movies. Many fans know her well as Nellie Oleson, her character on the NBC television series Little House on the Prairie, which aired from 1974 to 1981. The now 59-year-old actress originally auditioned as Laura Ingalls. When she didn't get the role, she auditioned for Mary Ingalls, which also went to someone else. She was later cast as Nellie, a role she played so well she established the cultural reference for spoiled bad girl in the 1970s.
Nellie.
Arngrim remains one of Hollywood's icons who started as a child star and maintained a successful career after so many years. She sure became a fan favorite since the 70s, and decades after the NBC series ended, Arngrim shared shocking details about her experience on the show. Arngrim's experiences as Nellie. Years after Little House on the Prairie aired for 7 seasons, reports showed that the cast still got emails from the hit family drama fans. But fans were not the only ones who benefited from the film's storyline. Arngrim is always grateful she got to play Nellie. In her book Confessions of a Prairie, How I Survived Nellie Oleson and Learned to Love Being Hated, the actress revealed that she was sexually abused as a child, and acting Nellie helped her heal. A relative abused Arngrim as a 6-year-old, and the experience made her a shy and withdrawn child. But all these changed when she became the scheming 11-year-old Nellie. Arngrim, who suffered the trauma of being abused in silence, suddenly intimidated people because of her on-screen character. The actress and author are grateful Nellie didn't ruin her life. However, the good memories Little House on the Prairie carried weren't all the actress had to share. Speaking about the behind-the-scenes tales of the hit series, Arngrim had more shocking information about some cast members. Her experiences on the show weren't all blissful, and it turned out Michael Landon wasn't the lovely dad he portrayed on television. According to Arngrim, Landon was strict with his rules and had a sense of humor that really shocked people. He also had a disrespectful habit of showing up on set without his underwear. Landon was an American actor and filmmaker. He starred as Charles Ingalls in Little House on the Prairie. Was Landon the perfect family guy? In a recent interview, Arngrim, 59, opened up about Landon's attitude towards other cast members. Although the Prairie lead man may have appeared as the perfect family man on TV, some cast members have also had different unflattering stories to tell about the late actor. Actress Karen Grassel, who starred as Caroline Ma Ingalls on the 70s drama, revealed how Michael Landon, who portrayed her on-screen husband, always boasted about his masculinity on set. Grassel's memoir unveiled never-before-known details about Little House on the Prairie, and her time with Landon as one thing fans were always curious about. Grassel alleged that her on-screen husband Landon constantly talked about his sex life and the benefits of bee pollen for the older male. It was eventually discovered that the US actor was having an affair with Cindy Clerico, who worked as a stand-in for Landon's co-star Melissa Francis. The then 18-year-old Clerico was more than 20 years Landon's junior. Grassel wasn't impressed with the actor's behavior. Some of the hit NBC drama's stars confirmed that Landon and Clerico's affair, coupled with the fact that he and Grassel had a feud due to her low salary, made the now 79-year-old actress more furious. Grassel and Landon's feud. Grassel and her husband on Little House on the Prairie were no loving couple off the set, and the actress has made that clear in a series of accusations. Grassel, who also acted alongside Landon in Bless All the Dear Children, made it clear the actor body shamed, made insensitive jokes, and refused to pay a fair wage. Although Grassel said Landon carried the show's weight on his shoulders, she didn't believe it was an excuse for his attitude. The movie star's disagreements began when Grassel requested requested a raise in her income for the second season. Landon turned down her request and reportedly said she wasn't as famous as she believed. The actress also opened up about how Landon started reducing her scenes and leaving her out of the storyline. He mocked her body, made jokes about her facial expressions to the crew, and she couldn't even call him out. However, Grassel and Landon's feud isn't all her book was about, as it also talked about the actress' struggles with alcohol addiction and the effects it had on her and her Prairie co-stars and her career. Speaking of her memoir during an interview, Grassel, aka Mom, said she decided to solve her drinking problems in 1977 after 2 incidents, one of which involved drinking at work. The actress had organized a luncheon for her.
Hard-working folks only smell bad to folks that have nothing to do but stick their noses in the air. But whenever you stick your nose in the air with me, Nellie, it's gonna get punched.
Michael Landon.
He's here. Yeah, he's here. Yeah, he's here. He's here. Yeah, he's here. Yeah, he's here. He's here. He's here. He's here. He's here. Yeah, he's here. He's here. Yeah, he's here. Yeah, he's here.
Michael Landon.
Yeah, he's here. Yeah, he's here. Yeah, he's here. Yeah, he's here. He's here. Yeah, he's here. Yeah, he's here.
You ever come back here again? Don't you ever come back here again? Don't you ever come back here again? Don't you ever come back here again? I didn't mean it. It's not your fault. It's alright. It is still my fault. I did want Buddy to like me more than she liked me. That's not true.